workers in the front lines. Bless our elderly. Bless people all over the world. It's not just a wherever you at thing. It's happening all over the world. Bless everybody. And please forgive us.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. But sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy. I'm going to rehab. Had to ask God for His mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
What if I told you that the man who once hosted some of the most exclusive celebrity parties in the world is now waking up behind steel bars, following orders from correctional officers instead of giving them? Sean Diddy Combs spent decades building an empire worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Private jets, luxury mansions, A-list celebrities, and a lifestyle that most people could only dream about. But today, none of that matters because once those prison doors closed, everything changed. MBG. Over the past few months, social media has exploded with shocking stories about Diddy's life behind bars. Some claim he has been struggling to adjust. Others insist prison staff have witnessed things no one expected. And countless viral posts have blurred the line between fact and fiction, leaving millions wondering one question. What's really happening inside those walls? Mandian former correctional officials have repeatedly explained that prison is designed to treat every inmate according to strict rules, no matter how famous they are. Celebrity status might attract attention, but it doesn't erase prison routines, security procedures, or the psychological pressure that comes with confinement. So what is Diddy's daily life actually like? Is he receiving special treatment? Or has the music mogul who once controlled every room he entered become just another inmate trying to survive one day at a time? Today, we're separating verified information from internet speculation as we uncover what life behind bars reportedly looks like for one of the biggest names in entertainment. And trust me, Tiro, what happened during Diddy's first days in custody surprised even people familiar with how high-profile inmates are usually handled. For years, Sean Diddy Combs lived a life that seemed untouchable. Private jets waited on the runway. Multi-million-dollar mansions stretched across some of the most expensive neighborhoods in America. Exclusive parties filled with celebrities became part of his public image, and his name was synonymous with power, influence, and success. Smillian from the outside, it looked like a life with no limits. But everything changed when federal investigators closed in. Almost overnight, the headline, the music mogul who had spent decades building an empire was no longer making news for business deals or celebrity appearances. Instead, cameras followed him into court as he faced serious federal charges that he has denied. Then came the moment no amount of fame or money could stop. The prison doors closed. Jammed inside a federal detention facility, status means far less than many people imagine. Every new inmate goes through a structured intake process that includes identification, security procedures, medical screening, and housing decisions. While high-profile inmates may receive additional security measures because of their public profile, they are still expected to follow the institution's rules. And that's where reality begins to replace the celebrity image. There are no assistants waiting outside the door, no luxury schedule built around personal preferences. Every hour is dictated by the facility's routine, not by the inmate. Being according to former correctional officials, this sudden loss of control is often one of the hardest adjustments for famous inmates. People who once made decisions for thousands of employees suddenly have almost every part of their day decided for them. Blamed for someone who spent decades at the top of the entertainment industry, that kind of change can be as challenging mentally as it is physically. But according to people familiar with how high-profile inmates are managed, the biggest surprise wasn't the routine itself. It was the level of attention that followed him from the moment he arrived. The moment a celebrity enters prison, one question immediately starts circulating online. Do they get special treatment? Ben, it's a question that has followed countless high-profile inmates over the years, and now it's following Diddy as well. Many people imagine that someone with money, fame, and powerful connections somehow lives differently behind bars. Better meals, more freedom, extra privileges, MBG. But according to former correctional officials who have spoken publicly about how federal facilities operate, the reality is often far less. In fact, fame can create more problems, not fewer. The reason is simple. Being a celebrity inmate instantly becomes one of the most recognizable people inside the facility. That attention doesn't just come from the media, it can also come from other inmates, making security much bigger. Blend. That's why prison staff often monitor high-profile inmates more closely, not to reward them, but to reduce unnecessary risks and maintain order inside the institution. The former correctional experts have also explained that any appearance of favoritism can quickly create tension among inmates. If others believe someone is receiving special privileges, it can lead to conflict, complaints, and additional security issues. For that reason, prison administrators generally work to keep routines as consistent as possible. That means the same scheduled counts. The same inspections, the same meal times, the same daily rules. Lens for someone who spent decades surrounded by assistants, managers, and personal staff. Adapting to that environment can be one of the biggest mental challenges of all. And while the internet continues to flood social media with dramatic stories about what is supposedly happening behind prison walls, many of those claims remain completely unverified. So what does Diddy's day actually look like from the moment the lights come on until they're switched off at night? That's where the story takes another turn. For years, Diddy controlled his own schedule. If he wanted to travel, he traveled. If he wanted a meeting, people came to him. If he wanted privacy, he simply disappeared behind the gates of one of his luxury properties. But inside a federal detention facility, that kind of control disappears almost instantly. To land every day begins on the institution's schedule, not the inmates. The lights come on at a designated time. Counts are conducted throughout the day to account for every inmate. Difficult parts of incarceration, particularly in a high-profile case that's constantly making headlines. While social media continues to circulate dramatic stories about Diddy's life behind bars, many of those claims remain unverified. The reality described by correctional experts is often much less sensational, but no less challenging. Because in prison, the hardest battle isn't always physical. For many inmates, it's the mental pressure of uncertainty, not knowing what comes next, when the next court appearance will be, or how long the process will take. And according to former prison officials, that's where even the most powerful people can begin to feel the weight of confinement. But as the legal case continues to unfold, Another question has become impossible to ignore. What happens next, and could it change everything? While prison routines are difficult for almost anyone, the experience can become even more intense when the entire world is watching. Bans for most inmates, life behind bars happens away from the public eye. Banned, but in Diddy's case, almost every court appearance sparks another wave of headlines, social media debates, and online theories. Every new filing, every legal development, and every reported detail is picked apart by millions of people. That kind of attention creates a different kind of pressure. MEMG, former correctional professionals, have said that high-profile inmates often have to adapt not only to prison life, but also to the reality that their public reputation is changing while they have very little control over the conversation. And every day brings another headline, another opinion, another rumor. And in the age of social media, those rumors can spread around the world in minutes, whether they're accurate or not. That's why it's important to separate verified reporting from speculation. Many dramatic stories circulating online have never been confirmed, while the legal case itself continues to move through the courts. Meanwhile, inside the facility, the routine continues. The same counts, the same schedules, the same waiting. Lands for someone who spent years living at the center of the entertainment industry. The contrast is impossible to ignore. But perhaps the biggest question isn't about what prison is like today. It's about what happens next. As the legal process continues, the outcome of the case, not internet rumors, will ultimately shape Diddy's future. And that may be the biggest turning point in this entire story. As the internet continues to debate every new headline, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The next chapter of this story won't be written on social media. It will be written in court. Clans, every new hearing, every legal filing, and every decision could dramatically change what happens next. That's why legal experts continue to emphasize that the judicial process, not online speculation, is what ultimately determines the outcome. Bans. Until then, Diddy remains in custody while the case moves through the legal system. Meanwhile, the rumors haven't slowed down. Every day, new videos appear claiming to reveal inside information. Anonymous sources, supposed prison insiders, and viral posts often make dramatic claims that spread across the internet within hours. Some attract millions of views before anyone even asks whether they're supported by evidence. That's exactly why separating verified reporting from speculation matters. The reality is that life inside a detention facility is already difficult without adding rumors that can't be confirmed. For someone who once stood at the top of the music industry, the contrast couldn't be more dramatic. The spotlight hasn't disappeared, it has simply shifted from red dot carpets and sold-out events to courtrooms and national headlines. Whether the future brings acquittal, conviction, or another unexpected turn remains to be seen. What is certain is that every new development will continue to draw enormous public attention. And perhaps that's the biggest lesson in this entire story. Media fame may change how the world sees you. Money may open countless doors. But once the legal system takes over, the process follows its own rules. Now the question passes to you. Do you think the public is focusing too much on viral rumors instead of verified facts? Or do you believe there are still important questions waiting to be answered? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy deep dives into the biggest celebrity stories without the clickbait, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next investigation. After months of nonstop headlines, one fact stands above everything else. The public has become fascinated not only by the legal case itself, but by the mystery surrounding Diddy's life behind bars. Every day, another viral video claims to reveal the truth. Another anonymous source appears. Bound, another shocking thumbnail spreads across social media. Bland, but when you strip away the clickbait, a very different picture begins to emerge. Bland, the biggest change isn't a secret prison privilege or a hidden conspiracy. Milan, it's the complete collapse of a lifestyle that once seemed untouchable. Blanche, the man who built a global music empire, attended the world's most exclusive events, and lived in unimaginable luxury, now faces a reality where every day follows the same routine. Every decision is governed by institutional rules, and every legal development carries enormous consequences. Lendia, as the case continues through the courts, the world will keep watching. Some people believe the story is only beginning. Mamd others think we've already seen the biggest headlines. Only time and the legal process will reveal what comes next. Baindia. Until then, separating verified facts from internet speculation remains more important than ever. One thing is undeniable. Means this case has become one of the most talked about celebrity legal stories in recent years, and every new development continues to capture global attention. Land. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think Diddy's prison experience has been exaggerated by social media? Or do you believe the public still doesn't know the full story? Shents, leave your opinion in the comments below. Lions. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more in-depth coverage of the biggest celebrity cases making headlines, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.